So about 3 years ago, another healer and I that I was working with helped Jeffrey Epstein's soul go into the light, go to heaven. So it's an interesting story, so I'll tell it. And just the way it happened was fascinating. I had an appointment with her, and about a couple hours before the appointment, Jeffrey waved to me from heaven. And I was like, okay, hey, what's up? And I knew that he had raped her when she was about 7 years old at one of those kind of like sex parties in DC. And he was about 17, 18. And he raped her to about an inch of her life. And so, yeah, she remembers. And then he's all over the news, and she knew it was him, and such. And so when he kind of got my attention from the other side, I knew. I'm like, okay, well, I'm close with her, and so it just made sense to me. And as a shaman, we kind of consider souls to be, they're like people, kind of. Oh, well, we're connected, so of course they reached out. We have full conversations. I know it sounds weird. Okay, so about an hour into the session, I finally remembered to mention that to her, that that he had kind of waved from the other side. So she kind of went into the other dimensions and located him in a very just unfortunate situation, which, okay, yeah, I mean, he had been in that role for about 20 lifetimes, and the negative energy around him, it was intense, to say the least. So she pulled out, which she never does. She's so powerful. And then she took us both back in, because both of our souls were necessary to be powerful enough to release him from his entrapment and get him over to heaven. And it felt like 5 minutes, but it was like an hour. And when she started trying to like get him out, of course, all of the negative energies, the negative souls that he was working with to do all this work over so many lifetimes, were trying to prevent that. And then they tried to come for us. And this was fascinating. So I'm on the table and she's working on my shoulders, and I could feel my solar plexus chakra, which is, right at the top of your abdomen, kind of light up and start to pull. And I could feel their negative energy pull on me. And like almost all of my back came up off the table, and they were trying to take my power. Our personal powers in our solar plexus chakra. And so they were trying to take that power. I know in Harry Potter, they show like the soul come out of the mouth, but in this situation, they were trying to take my power, because that's what we were using to, help Jeffrey soul, go over to heaven. And my back came off the table. I'm like, what the? If I hadn't experienced it, I would never have believed it, seriously. So it took a long time for her to extract him, release him, get him to be strong enough, and then go over, into the light. And this is an example of forgiveness that will resonate me for the rest of my life, and it really helped her as kind of a final step, release that emotional pain that he had caused, because he raped her into an inch of her life. And he had done it over several lifetimes. And one of her soul's purpose is to shed light on those kinds of events. And so forgiveness, it's always about you. It's always helpful for you to forgive. When you release that negative energy inside of you, then you have more love inside of you, more love to project out of you, and then more love will come back to you. Throw that love out like a boomerang. It's going to come back. I mean, it might go out for a while, but eventually it's going to come back and hit you. And it's just a prime example of why forgiveness is so important. Have a great day.